Maisano, who is the director of a documentary. This is the first documentary filmmaker we talked to today. But it's a feature documentary, which is kind of unusual. But before we talk to Matthew, the project's called Fence Searchers. Fence Searchers. Okay. So, but we're going to run this quick little trailer of it, and I guess they could have picked it off the trailer. Here we go.
There's a guy that hid a treasure chest in the mountains north of Santa Fe. His name is Forrest Fenn.
This guy hid a treasure, a fabulous treasure, somewhere in the mountains.
I had what everybody thought was terminal cancer. And so I got this beautiful little box and I started filling it up with wonderful little things.
There are 20 pounds of this in the treasure.
Time to hit the road. We're gonna go find some treasure. Are you sure we're going the right way? See the tall bushes up there? I think that's where we go in.
My motivation was to get the kids away from their texting machines, out of the game room, off of the couch. I want them to smell the sunshine.
When I find the chest, and I will find the chest, I'm going to take a selfie and I'm going to hug it a little. I might kiss it. I might even lick it a few times.
I've told Forrest and I've told all my immediate friends I will never stop looking until it's found.
Well, my name is Sasha, and I am a mom, and a wife, and a treasure hunter.
I come prepared because getting stuck out here by yourself can be life or death.
Some people have said to us, this story can't be true. There's no way that someone would take this amount of valuable stuff and just go hide it in the woods for anybody to find. I mean, who would do that? And I always say, Forrest Fenn would do that.
Go experience all the great things that are out there waiting for you.
All right. That looks very interesting. And the unique thing about it, it's New Mexico based. It's a documentary. And there's been a lot of speculation and talk about the treasure, Fenn's treasure. And so, first of all, Matthew, welcome. Yeah. But tell me a little bit about yourself. Are you a native New Mexican transplant?
No, no. I grew up in Connecticut and moved to North Carolina 3 years ago. So East Coast is a very, very different.
Yeah. So what attracted you to the story?
I heard about it in 2013 when I was on the Today Show and a couple other national media outlets, and just thought it was, on its face value at first, what incredible story it was to have a modern day treasure hunt. You know, this stuff just doesn't happen. So it was kind of this interesting adventure story, and I saw that there was a community that was really into it, much smaller at that time, but yeah.
Yeah, and I think I first heard about it like 2 years ago or myself, and then there was an article in one of the local newspaper about you making the documentary. But God, a treasure hunt. Yeah. There's nothing more exciting in the West than a treasure hunt.
I know, and you know perfect place to do it, right?
Right.
So. Yeah, that like I said, that was just one of the things I really liked about it. Was here we are now in 2017, and you've got this treasure hunt. You know, like it harks me back to like Lewis and Clark and all the frontier people and all the explorers in hundreds of years ago. And now we have all these technologies, and yet people are still going out there. And they can't find this thing. You know, granted, it's like thousands of miles of space to look in, but that's what's so interesting to me is in modern day you have this activity that was you really only think about pirates and explorers and, you know, Blackbeard and like that type of stuff. But
there's no ship.
There's no ship.
There's no pirates, I guess. But
no.
Maybe they are pirates.
No.
So were you a documentary filmmaker before this? What's your film background?
Yeah, I had I went to film school and did some time in community college in between that and local news, and then worked in TV as an editor for Food Network and HGTV and that type of stuff, and then moved to North Carolina, went to PBS, and now I'm a documentary producer and videographer at PBS. So my day job is doing shorter form content of documentary type content.
So how receptive were they to someone being around with a camera showing where the treasure might be, revealing their secret to the treasury?
All kinds of different responses, but you know, when you are searching for a treasure chest filled with about $2 million worth of gold and jewels, you can imagine there's some protectivity, you know, there's some protection around that information. So there was initial trust to be earned, you know, which was, you know, a fun. It wasn't too challenging, really. Just kind of be open with people and honest about what you're doing. And once I'd gotten that trust with a couple of key searchers that are in the film, they shared their solves, and we went out and filmed them.
So where has the film screened, or where have you had it aired?
So we're still in the fairly early in our festival circuit. So this is our first premiere. We showed a rough cut of the film last year here in Santa Fe, actually, but so we're just waiting to what's next from there.
So it's important to point out that the film is screening today at 5
o'clock
at the South Broadway Cultural Center.
Exactly.
It's a great screen over there, great projector.
Yeah.
We'll have
Awesome.
some things screened there. You know, documentary filmmaking is so much different than narrative filmmaking, but I started in documentary filmmaking, and the adventure is I always say the adventure of the filmmakers is sometimes more exciting. How's the adventure of making this movie been?
Well, that you said it very well. It's like when you're making, you know, and I did a bunch of fiction stuff in college and just on that scale, but you set out in documentary, you set out to make a film. It's not the film that here today, not that that's a bad thing, but like it's nothing like what you initially were like, hey, I want to do this. You know, like it's almost like when you come out to shoot it, not only does it change so much there, but when you come back and take the footage, the story is found then,
right?
You know, which is so different from anyone who's in fiction film.
Now, you know, every documentary has unique characters, but there's got to be some very unique characters that are searching for the treasure. Are there pirate?
No pirates. We haven't found them. Those land pirates.
Land pirates.
River pirates, I guess. Pirates. I would love to meet one of those.
None with a patch on their face.
No, unfortunately. Where are they? I want to find these people, but no, there's a wide variety of people that go look for the treasure, you know, and some are eccentric, but many of them are not. They're, you know, people you'd see in line at the grocery store or wherever, and you'd have no idea that they work a 9-to-5 job, and they're out looking for the treasure in like remote wilderness on the weekends.
So I can't imagine that after you screen the film, people walk out and ask you, so where is the treasure? Do you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know.
But it's funny, like, especially when I first started the film 2 years ago, when not as many people had met Forrest as have now. Like, people thought that I had some inside knowledge,
right?
You know, maybe anyone that met him, they thought, but like, yeah, people email me their solutions every week or two. I get a new sort of like email, hey, here's what I think. What do you think about this? And, you know, I write them back and kind of talk about it for a little bit. But it's cool to hear everyone has different ideas, you know.
So there is an individual that really exists that's Forrest Evans. Right.
Sorry?
The individual.
Forrest Fenn. He created it. Yeah, it's his treasure. It was
his treasure.
He planted it in 2010, we think, and released a book with 9 clues as to where it might be, with a poem with 9 clues.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, have you considered making this into a narrative project?
I have not.
Yeah, it's just it has all the elements of such a great film. You know, like just the character himself
Yeah.
who would do this.
Yes.
You know, what kind of person sets out to hide something? It's like Grandpa watching the kids look for Easter eggs, I guess.
Yeah, well, he is a grandfather, and yeah, he wants to. One of his key missions in doing this, is to get kids off the couch, as he puts it, and get them away from. He calls them texting machines.
Right.
Get them away from their phones and technology, and give them a reason to want to go out and hunt fish and camp. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
So is this documentary dynamic? Obviously, there's no ending yet.
No, so that's part of the challenge, right?
Right.
No one's found it, at least hasn't reported.
How do you
them.
end a film like? I mean,
Good
at
question.
what point do you say this? Okay, we're done making this movie. We're going to put it out there.
Yeah. Well, that was a challenge, actually. So when we came out here last year, we were sort of looking for an ending, and I won't say what's in the film, but like, it's exactly that. This is an ongoing story, and that's also what was so cool about it and challenging is that there's a beginning. There's really no middle or end.
Right.
So you kind of have to find your own, within the story of these people that are in the film, and a little bit me to kind of move us from A to B. But yeah, it's like this could go on for 1,000 years.
Right. So when do you part with the project? Have you parted? I mean, have you said, okay, this is it, I'm not gonna?
Yeah, I mean, like,
or is there going to be part 2 of the sequel?
No. The sequel, yeah, maybe. Sequels always have good titles, right? So
I don't know if documentaries have sequels.
they could. No plan for that, but I do think about sometimes just shooting smaller search stories, because so many people contact me with interesting stories of their own. But no, I think it's been 2.5 years.
Right.
I think I'm ready to
move on.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us, and welcome you to New Mexico. You obviously spent some time here and explored parts of New Mexico, and that a lot of us probably haven't not explored because we're not looking for treasures. But
There's always time.
There's always time. Again, the film is
Fence Searchers.
Searchers.
Yep.
It screens tonight at 5:00.
Yep.
At the South Cultural Center, Broadway Cultural Center.
You got it. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks.
Oh yeah.
Great.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So we're gonna wrap today for the our stream. We'll pick up tomorrow from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. We might tape some other interviews and then run them earlier in the morning. But thank you for joining in on the stream. And this is the Albuquerque Film and Media Experience. And Albuquerque Film and Music Experience. The name was changed to protect the innocent. But if you haven't bought tickets, if you haven't looked at the program, go online and look at the different programs and get out and support our local filmmakers and support our local treasure hunters, and have a great day. Thank you.